Good morning. Happy December. Welcome to the Well for our monthly soul guidance reading. December 2024. Here we go. And our last reading was the day before the election. So it's interesting to come back to the readings from that context. And I'm excited to go through today. So I'm Maria from Integral Bloom Life You Love with Angela Marie from Grounded Dreamers. And let's do this. Well, actually, let's first just get present. Let's take a deep breath. Find our breath. Just allow our breath to move through our lungs, down through our diaphragm, opening up the pelvic floor and growing roots down into the earth. Noticing our connection with the earth and with all that is. And as we open up our perspectives to receive this beautiful reading. All right.
Okay, so we're going to start this one off with the energy of uncertainty. I pulled Thicket of Thorns, and this is for all of us whenever we find ourselves in a space where we don't know what direction to take, or the goal that we've set out to achieve is not coming through, it's not coming to fruition, or it doesn't seem like it is. It's any obstacle that comes along your path. But this is a little more of a dense stuckness, because the thorns represent the inability to move in any direction. When you're in this thicket of thorns, you try to move to the left, to the right, and you're just going to get stung, right? There is not really anywhere to go except remain patient and pause in place. Then I pulled the outsider next to that. And this is a familiar one. We know that goal is on the other side of this barrier that we're actually perceiving it to be a barrier, because that little, of course, isn't clasped. So really, it's a matter of what direction do I want to step in, when, and how far do I want to go? It's all up to us. But this also makes us feel like we're separated from our goal, just like that uncertainty does. Then the energy this month, and we pull this at the beginning of the month, but let's just see if some of this stuff plays out. And December tends to be sort of a slower month in most people's lives because it's winter, it's holidays, we get more vacation time. But it seems that this uncertainty may linger a bit, because after the outsider card, I also pulled schizophrenia. And this is mental indecision. This is the ability not to make a decision. If I let go of my hands, or see there's a little guy, he's up there hanging onto the cliff with his hands and his feet, and if they let go of their hands, I'm gonna go tumbling. If I let go of my feet, same result. And the guidance here is to really let go of both and just free fall, and let's see where it leads, right? And another level of it too is to let go of the need to know.
Yeah, I think that's really the
right
relationship to the uncertainty, right? Is letting go of the need to know.
Let go of that need to know,
and even letting go what we think we know.
Our perception, and realizing that they're all perceptions, they're all interpretations. And
exactly.
In any given moment, the choice we make could have been hundreds of other choices, but right, so it's really and they may all lead to the same end, right? All of these choices we make. So it's really important that we begin to, I got Sacred Mountain, that we begin to really listen to our inner voice. And when this indecision, inactivity, fear of moving in any direction comes up, the response, our natural response as a human being, is to push through it, do the research, figure out what's best, go to this, and put more energy toward the battle, put more energy toward that obstacle. But what this guidance is saying is, no, drop it, pull off the side of the road, get to that quiet place within you, find your strength, find that silent space where all your answers are. And that's counterintuitive to what we normally do as human beings, because we're solvers, we want to get through it.
Find the answer.
There are times we want to push through, but there are
Yeah.
times when, and most of the time really, is when the answer's already there. So
Mhm.
if we pull off that side of the road, like we said, and just let things develop a little bit, and then the answers become more clear.
Mhm.
Um, and so that's the top row of cards was kind of like the struggle and describing it and finding a way to um, sort of not engage in that battle, not
Mhm.
engage with the obstacle.
Mhm.
And then we get to move, then we get movement on the bottom row of cards, which I like. We got Dream Traveler. And
Mhm.
this is your reminder, once you've had your peaceful, quiet time within your sacred mountain, now you have time for your imagination to flow. You are a visionary. We're all visionaries of our own path.
Mhm.
We look to others, we look to the answers in other areas, but we have all the answers if we just get quiet enough and pay attention.
Mhm.
And also knowing that you're on the right path, even if it doesn't feel like it, even if
Mhm.
that path includes getting stuck in a thicket for a little while.
Mhm.
That's still your right path, right?
Mhm.
The lessons and the flow is found in your in those quiet moments, but the lessons are always there. And even in the times that it feels like, how can I proceed? I don't even know if I can do this anymore. That is part of your path, right? That is supposed to be there. Those obstacles are supposed to be there for your growing, your knowing, your learning.
Right.
And then
And they're
after this,
important to, I'm sorry to interrupt. I was just thinking about how important those obstacles are for our growth. We have to dig deeper than we even realize we can, in those moments of stuckness and struggle. So I was just thinking about that in the
it's
reading.
true. And when you say we realize, I mean, they're more than we realize, even
Mhm.
though we think we can't go forward. If you look back on your life at various obstacles that we've all had along our path, you made it, right? You
Mhm.
made it through. And probably a couple of those obstacles you're never willing to repeat, right? I've learned my lesson. I can put that one in the closet. And when that shows up again, I'm going to just dip around it, right? Because
Mhm.
you've learned from it. And that's the gift.
Mhm.
That's the breakthrough. That's
Yeah.
the next part. Right,
Yeah.
right. This is your empowerment. This is knowing, okay, I got this.
Mhm.
Like, if I encounter an obstacle and just focus on how to get through it, and oh my
Mhm.
gosh, you shouldn't be here. You're in my way. Instead of, oh, hi, obstacle. What lesson do you have for me today? Right?
Yeah.
Am I supposed to be pausing my journey? Should
Mm.
I go in another direction temporarily? Should I change my pace? Like those are signals
Mhm.
for us.
Mhm.
But like you said, when we start engaging in it and fighting it, we're missing the next signal, right?
Mhm.
Spending all our time on that. So
Yeah.
in a way, that's kind of the breakthrough. That's kind of the epiphany. Our power is, and remember, this is like a third chakra card. Our power is in us all the time.
Mm.
It's always there. Um, but as humans, we're conditioned to look outside ourselves for some answers or look to authority for some answers. But we already know. That's the beauty of that. Then after we get that epiphany, after we realize, kind of like was it Glinda the Good Witch who said, you've always had it within you. The power has always been
Dorothy.
like that. When we realize that, that's when we really start flowing. And I got growth right after that. And this is exponential growth. This is like sudden sweeping growth. Like I get it. I've leveled up now. So now, any obstacles, I'm going to have obstacles still. They're going to
Mhm.
come and they're going to go.
Mhm.
But now I will meet them with a different energy because I've
Mhm.
leveled up. I don't have to go back to that way I always did it. And
Yeah.
that's that breakthrough. And that's
Mhm.
where we really start to see flow.
Yeah.
And then our final card, I love it, is the Fool. Here you
Mm.
are, new path, new, unexpected, new unknowns ahead of
Mhm.
us. But we're eager to take that path. We're eager
Mhm.
because now we have more um, fuel in our energetic tank because of what we've learned, you know, moving through these obstacles. So
Mhm.
love that.
Mhm. Yeah, and I love the association and the imagery to the Fool card and the schizophrenic card, where arms and
Yes.
feet were on either side of the cliff, and then the Fool is, holding that flower and really surrendering, really yielding to whatever changes is transformation is happening.
Yeah, they're both stepping into the unknown.
Totally.
Yeah.
Easier said than done. We often talk about these different points in our journey as how important it is and all of that, but it's so important to keep in mind how much courage it takes to keep on keeping on, as we move through our journeys in these different
and
ways.
it's inner courage. It's inner courage. It's not
so much inner courage it takes. Yeah, I mean, it's that courage, it's the origin of the word courage is heart, right? To really come from the deep, bold hearted place and stay the course. So I invite everybody to pause and take in what you're getting from the reading and how it relates to your own journey, your own life, especially at this point in the year. It's December. We're nearing the end of the year. I invite you to think about your year, the year that you had, January, February, March, moving into spring, April, May, June, what sprouted, what came forth. And the summer months.
Get through winter first and spring will come. And winter is time of reflection. That's what winter is, for slowing down and reflecting.
Which we're moving into, right? That wintering phase.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so beautiful. Let's move into the second half. Yeah, with the or let's actually pause and be with this. That's what we were going to do. Yeah, and just feel into where you are in your own journey and in the journey of this reading and what feels important for you to focus on and bring intention to. Oh, kind of presencing back to rooting down into the earth, feeling that connection, and then opening up into the second part of the reading.
All right. So we ended up with that Fool card setting off on a new path, right? In another new level of awareness. We've leveled up, like we said. Part of that leveling up, and this is just one aspect, but we may notice that we're more fully in acceptance of life. The bottom there says the cycle of life is filled with joy, with grief, with angst, with wonder, with beauty, with trying times. It's filled with all of that. And if we're willing to accept everything, the gifts and the obstacles, that's being in the flow. Remember, we said before, you're on that right path, even if it feels like you're not. And that's the level of acceptance we want to reach. Absolutely. Is the next thing that comes in our path. Oh, like we said, let's greet that obstacle. What are you here to teach me? Right? Instead of how can I get through you? How can I demolish you? Right? Yeah. So that acceptance is our new, we've leveled up there. And then I got morality. And this is a mental energy that everything has to be one way or the other. If it's not good, it's bad. If it's not right, it's wrong. Right?
Yeah.
And we're
again, that schizophrenic card.
It has the same kind of energy.
Yeah, same kind of.
And that was also a mental card. Yeah. So in this deck, those gray boxes mean that's our mind. That's our mental energy. And the morality card is here to remind us that everything isn't, one way or the other. It just is. It could be all of those things at once. And if we can relax those labels and judgments that we impose within our mind on any situation, if we could relax that a little bit, instead of here comes an obstacle, that's bad. If instead, like we said, here comes an obstacle, I'm ready for my lessons. It's just a way of shifting, because this keeps us feeling stuck.
Totally. Right? Being open to what you
found. Oh, sorry.
No, just being open to what you can receive from the experience.
Right. Instead of that judging, which shuts it down.
Totally.
In our minds, right? And she's like bound. I don't know what this grid is. It's like metal straps that are holding her in place, and hands are tied there, and there's just so little movement in that.
Looks like a straitjacket.
It does, huh? Like a medieval one.
Yeah, exactly. Like a medieval one. Exactly. Or like a torture chair.
Yeah, it does look like a torture chair.
Yeah, it's like very punishing.
Oh,
right?
Yeah.
mean, isn't that the energy of morality? Very punishing
It's
energy.
kind of punishing because first of all, it's saying, um, I'm putting my judgment on that. And if it's someone doing something that we're going to judge as bad, that makes you what, superior to the other? There's just so
Yeah.
little room
Yeah.
for love and growth and flow in that energy.
And
So
acceptance.
that acceptance is important.
Mm-hmm.
And then I got listening. And
Mm.
this is for you in that quiet time. Remember, in that last spread, we pulled that sacred mountain card on our quiet space within us.
Mm-hmm.
Go there. Go there often. And what do you hear? When you're in your meditation, what comes up? What thoughts come and go?
Mm-hmm.
When you are, I don't know, in a busy store and maybe there's like 10 conversations going on around you. Maybe one brings up an idea, who knows, that you didn't even realize you had the idea before and you let it go. Maybe two ladies are talking about, oh, I think I'm gonna, I don't know, start Pilates or whatever. And then you're like, oh yeah, that's what I wanted to do, whatever. Just listening to the real world around you, but also listening to the divinity. It's everything because the signals are there for you to receive if you're listening. That's what
Mm-hmm.
that's what that is. And also, they're there if you're willing to see them. And this abundance card
Mm-hmm.
comes next. And it talks about these crows that get all the fish because they live on that side of the pond. And the crows that are over on the other side, they don't know this abundance because they're in the wrong space at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
But it doesn't mean it's not there, right?
Absolutely. Mm-hmm.
So this is for you to remember to focus not on the lack, but on the knowing that abundance is everywhere and you just have to turn your gaze or take a couple steps in that direction to find it. Your abundance and your answers and your outcome are waiting for you.
It's really
And it's up
transcending.
to you.
Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah, it's really, yeah. And then after the abundance, I got gifts. And this is not only in these stuck situations with obstacles, we find the lesson, right? What are you going to teach me? What is my gift here?
Yeah.
But also reminding you to give
Mm-hmm.
gifts. And gifts are not always tangible things, but I mean, like, you know, smile at someone who may be, walking past you. You don't know what's going on in their mind. Their eyes might be down, but you might give them a smile and a hello just to shift and move your energy toward other people because that is reciprocal. It
Mm-hmm.
flows back to you. So, making sure that you're engaging and you're giving of yourself with others, which all brings about a sense of renewal. When we are willing to be in our divine flow, to listen for signs, to make sure we know we're on our way to our desired outcome by focusing on the abundance around us, that speeds up our path, to make sure we're sharing our heart with others. That gives us a sense of renewal. Now if we leveled up last time, now we're fully like, we're sure of that level and we're not going to go back, right? This is a new way of, a new sense of purpose, a new sense of seeing things, a new way of engaging with our lives and with the others around us.
Mm-hmm.
Then I got change, and that's the constant in our universe. It's always, always shifting and moving. And to avoid us getting, dizzy in that spinning wheel, just make sure we're centered. We're in
Mm-hmm.
touch with our inner being, and we are listening to our inner being when it's time to make a move. That is how we navigate the change, is by staying centered in the middle of it. And then the final card I got, perfect for the end of the year here, is be proud of yourself.
Mm-hmm.
This is just time to pat yourself on the back, take some acknowledgement that, especially if you've been with this group for all this time and following these readings and the progression of them, you've definitely leveled up.
Yeah.
You've made
Navigated a lot
new
of
choices,
obstacles.
lots of obstacles, and you've learned to make new choices in certain patterned responses. You've learned to, maybe like we said, pull off the road for a minute instead of fighting. You've learned that, and you're on your way to making life even sweeter, and for that you should be proud.
Hmm.
Yeah.
It's really a great way to end the year. Be proud of yourself.
Yeah.
Kind of says it all. Yeah, beautiful. Well, thank you so much. And yeah, I just invite everybody to think about, what are you proud of from your year this year, 2024? Reflect back over it, maybe do some journaling. What were your gains and achievements? And then what does that open up for you to create in 2025? So thank you so much. And I hope everyone has a beautiful end of the year.